asked some of you, what are you struggling with when it comes to getting things done? And it sounds like what some of you are struggling with is analysis paralysis. So let's talk about analysis paralysis. What is it? Essentially nowadays, because there's so much information available on Google and books and courses on YouTube and anywhere else you might potentially go, it becomes so easy to consume and amass and accumulate the information without actually doing anything with it. Now, there's a few different variations on analysis paralysis, but that's usually the main one. It's like we've got a bunch of options, we don't know which to pick, and we don't know what to do with them. And when we do finally choose them, we're not really sure how to execute them. So it's just this cycle of analyzing and trying to figure out what to do, but because you're trying to get it right, you get stuck in paralysis. And why does it happen? Basically for the reason I just mentioned, that you're trying to get it right. In other words, you're trying to be perfect. You're trying to get it perfect one way or another. So getting stuck in perfectionism, this is a common trap for creatives. Analysis paralysis is really just some other form of the same thing. And so we need to look at how we can overcome that practically so that, the future actually sees us producing and creating things rather than sitting on ideas or having thoughts of creating something that never ends up being creative, right? So we want to make sure that your output gets out into the world and seen and heard, even if it's just a little bit. Hopefully it gets seen by a lot of people. That is always the most desirable thing. But unfortunately, I don't think history is on the side of people, like not right now, maybe in the past, but I don't think history is on the side of the people who aren't prolific, who aren't constantly creating, who aren't constantly publishing and shipping and putting new things out there. But you might be scared to do that, right? And that's where analysis paralysis comes in. So let's talk about solutions. And I think all of these are worthwhile solutions. It's just that you may not immediately feel like trying some of them, which is why I wanted to present more than just one. The first solution is publishing under a pseudonym. This is something Derek Sivers, he talked about quite a bit in the early days, which was if you're scared of trying to get something perfect and putting it out there and have it be perfect, then why not just invent a pseudonym like Crunchy Frogs 84 or whatever it is you want to call it, and then set up a new channel and just publish fun, goofy stuff to it without worrying about trying to get it right, without worrying about trying to get it perfect. We all have things in our lives that really seem to come easy. And so you want to look over there, like not the stuff that's hard. If you're struggling to move forward in your music career, then look at the stuff that's easy for you. Maybe you have a daily workout routine. Amazing. So that is something that's going well. And maybe you're not even thinking about it anymore because you've been at it for a while and you've been getting results and you're feeling better and you're looking better. So you're not even thinking about working out at this point. Perfect. That's what we want to do. We want to do the same thing except with our creativity in our music. So go out, create a new channel, call it something completely ridiculous, and just put out 100 songs. That's all there is to it, really. So I know some of you are still scared, so let's move on to another solution. Another solution that has worked very, very well for me and has worked well for a lot of people is deadlines. And you have deadlines at work, I'm sure, or in your freelancing career or whatever it is that you do on the side. Most of you are probably not doing just music, but if you are, congrats. Glad to hear it. Want to hear more about what you're up to there. But if you're not just, if you have a side job or if you have a job, you have certain deadlines. And yes, you may dread them, and yes, you may not really want to do them, but when you have them, you tend to get it done, don't you? So it's the same thing. We want to create self-enforced deadlines in our lives for the things that we're up to. That can make such a huge difference. It's how my life works. People sometimes do ask me, and this, not even sometimes, like frequently ask me, how do you get it all done? One of the reasons is because I live my life by deadlines. I always have deadlines for just about everything that I'm doing. And it might be tight. It might be grueling. It might even be a little bit of a grind at times. But as long as I'm making sure to take care of myself and I'm all right and my well-being is taken care of, I can always meet those deadlines. But like it or not, I have deadlines for my clients every single week, if not almost every single day. If I don't keep to those deadlines, sure, I might be able to get away with it once or twice, or maybe extend the deadline, or if I'm in communication, I can figure something out. But otherwise, there would be dire consequences for not having and keeping those deadlines. And it works the same way in your own creativity. Yet again, this is something that you might try and it may not work the first time. And this is the thing about getting things done in general, is there's all these practices that we can put into place, but without our foundations solidly in check, like our mindset and our psychology and our attitude and what we're thinking and feeling about life in general, sometimes these things can be hard. And so finally, and this is almost, I would like to say it's foolproof, and it almost is. Almost completely foolproof solution to analysis paralysis is accountability. So having other people keep to your word. There is a problem with accountability, though, because I grew up in the church, and I went to church for 30 years straight. And there were accountability things that people like to take on, from like Bible studies or Sunday school. Yeah, one person would fall off and then the other person would fall off. So that I observed that a lot. That tended to happen pretty frequently. And so what I'm recommending in place of that, what has worked instead is like mastermind groups, right? I've got one that I'm creating. It's not ready to go yet, but when that is available, I'll be sure to let you know once we have a mastermind. But I have so many other projects on the go right now. That one is probably going to stay on the back burner for now. The other one, though, that tends to work very well in accountability is coaching and community. When you have that two-pronged approach, a coach that's guiding you, supporting you, and having you looking at completing one thing per week, and that's really the structure we use at Elite Players, is what are you committed to accomplishing this week? There's a million things you could do, and there's a ton of content in Elite Players, and we're looking at ways of streamlining and combining and compiling and all that kind of stuff. But bottom line is there's just so many things you could be doing in your music career, hundreds or thousands, and at any given time we kind of need to prioritize and look at what is the most important next step that we need to take, right? So that's what we're talking about, is when you have a coach and then when you have a community, a forum of people that are supporting you and are looking at each other going, hey, did you get it done? What happened? Did you have a breakthrough? Did you have a breakdown? How did things go? You tend to stay on track. And I honestly think that's the most effective solution. Look, I can see the way the economy is going right now, and we're not going to be in a great place here, but I've known that for a while. I don't know if that's something that you were present to. So I think the plan is we're going to break off, well, not break it off, but I think we want to make just the forum available to the people who want to join the forum and have that accountability. So we're looking at that possibility here in the near future. But in the meantime, we've still got Elite Players. It's there for you to join and be a part of. So we look forward to seeing you on the inside.
Thank you for listening. Music in this episode was brought to you by Brian Young. Wherever you're listening to this right now, please consider leaving a 5-star review and comment to help us get the word out about the podcast.